So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the exercise for value and saturation. I've created an Illustrator file. It's 18 by 18. And I've got the rulers turned on. I've got snap turned on. I have a grid set to every 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to hit Control plus here to zoom in. And I want to start up here in the upper left-hand corner, scroll over here a little bit and up to the top. Okay, I'm going to start off by making a square. So I'll use the tool here. It's actually the rectangle tool. And as I mentioned, I have snap set on. I'm going to begin making, let me zoom in just a little bit more so that the rulers are a little bit larger. I'm going to make the upper left-hand corner of this square at 1 1/4. So there's 1, this is 1 1/2, both upwards and, top to bottom and left to right. So that puts it right here. So I'll go ahead and, actually right here. And I will make this a 1/2 inch square. It should be 4 grids. So, you can double check. This is 1 1/4 here, and this is 1 1/4 over here. All right, now with this square, all of these squares are going to be changing in terms of what their fill condition is, but I'm going to start off by making them all with no profile or stroke. So we'll make that a null, but filled with black. And again, just so that they're kind of easy to see on the screen. And I'm also going to add a little bit of text. So I'm using the text tool and I'm going to block out, 4 grid widths wide. And I'm going to make these all Fs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, right now they're set to 12-point font. And I think maybe the biggest letter, depends what font you're using. Let me see, C, 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 C. So you can see it's not going to fit. So I'm going to drop the point size down to, try 9. So hopefully all of them in this will fit in that dimension. I'm also going to click on it and make it centered. Okay, so let's see any other changes. That's good. It looks like it's top aligned and that's fine. Okay, so now what we're going to do is Control C or Command C and paste and move these so that they're happening every inch. So I have half an inch of space between all of them. So to make this go a little faster, I'll make a window around both of them, Control V, and go keep doing this until I have 16 of them vertically. All right, I zoomed out again, and this time I'll make a window around all 4 of these, Control C, Control V, and move them into position. I'm using my arrow keys, which maybe is not the fastest way to do this, but okay, let's see if we can bring them like that. And again, you want to make sure that they're falling on those grid lines. Scrolling down. In place. It doesn't really matter right now what these say because they're all going to change. So in the tutorial, the written one, I think it says all Fs. This is fine. And so this last one should be 1 1/4 and 1 1/4, just like the one at the top from the edges. Okay. So now I'm going to work on establishing a grayscale. So I will zoom in here. I'm going to start at the bottom. That one is going to be black. Let me just scroll over here a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to go to the color swatch here, double click, you'll notice that it actually is not black in terms of all three channels hex codes. You can even see the little circle here. And that this was the preset black that was in the file. I'm going to make this one FFF. Okay. Oops. Actually, I did that incorrectly. I want it to be 00000. I want it black. Okay. And then I'm also going to change all the text here to reflect what that hex code is. Go to the next one, double click on the swatch here, and that'll be 11111. Okay. Now you may not see it change at all. It's going to be very subtle, but as you continue up, you will see that they are getting lighter. So you're going to just go up the whole list here and change them all. Next one would be 2222. And when we get to 9, then we transfer to AAA, BBB, CCC, DD, all the way up to F at the very top. So you can see I've gone through, I've changed the values for all of them. And I've also updated the text. So you can use the text font that was the default, or you can change that up. One thing I wanted to mention is that since this top one here is white on a white background, what I did is that's the only one that I added a stroke to. So I made it a black stroke, but maybe it could be a gray. It would be just a little bit lighter that way. And I gave it a thickness, just a very minimal thickness of 0.25 points. Okay, so now we are ready to proceed with the next step. Okay, so in preparation for adding more color to these channels instead of just the grayscale, I'm going to make a window around the whole group here. And by the way, when you see these are remnants of some kind of text box. So I don't know how that appeared there, but anyway, just delete them if you see them. Make a window and copy and paste it in there. And we'll kind of drag this up. We want also half an inch between this group. And as I had done before, I'll just keep making copies in this way. And we need also 16 rows for this one too. So I'll make copies the same way till I have them all the way across. Okay, then I'm going to come along and erase some of them, half of them. Get rid of all of them, but the one on the far left for the top row. We leave 2, the next row. So I'm just making this window and hitting the delete key. 3, 4. And you can proceed down the list so that you have this kind of triangular arrangement. So you should end up with an arrangement that looks like what you see on the screen here. All right, now for the next part, we're going to be adding some color. Now remember that in my example, I'm manipulating the red channel, but you have some options, either blue, green, or the secondary colors of cyan, magenta, or yellow to work with. So what I'll do is maybe I'll start here with the lower right, and I'll go all the way across just so that there's one row that shows how this is going to work. Okay, we'll zoom in a little closer here. Okay. So same thing, click on the square, and in this case, again, I'm working with the red channel, just first two numbers here, or first two characters. And this one, I'm going to make full, oops, we'll do it all capitals, full saturation of red, change this out to reflect the hex code assigned to that square. Okay, now the next one will be EE in the red channel. And again, you might not see much of a difference when you first do these, but as you go down the row, you should see that there's a more significant change. So I'll continue to do this bottom row as a sort of illustration. So I have the bottom row done. So going from high level of saturation to less saturation, all the way to black. And I need to change this number. By the way, this would be a very good time to save your work. Okay, now we'll proceed with some of the other ones. So next, what I would suggest, I mean, you could jump around and do this however, but one thing is that this outer edge here on the right, they'll all start with full saturation of the particular channel. So if I was to click on this one right here, which currently has a value of all 6s, I would change this to FF, and I'm going to get that. So again, we should notice that there's a value change as we go from the lower right-hand corner all the way up. They should be getting lighter and lighter. Okay, and same thing here. You're going to change these codes to reflect the hex code that you assigned to it. Okay, so that, and I'll do another one, maybe this one right here. So change this to FF. And again, you'll just proceed in the same fashion and change all of them so that you have a full set of value and saturation squares. And before I finish this up, change that text value also. And again, be sure to save periodically. It would be unfortunate to lose any of this work.